Well, so again, we told you that there's been an extension of the Habitat Fair, and we know that following that Achimota Mini Habitat Fair Clinic, we decided to do that extension because it was overwhelming, the calls for us to do that extension, and make sure that you always get to the Achimota Mall this morning and get to know what you can get in trying to finish off the house or get a new mortgage or get a new house or a piece of land or whatever that you need to make sure you improve on your furnishing at home. But in the meantime, today too, we'll be having some great conversation about how all of us can be let in on the new app that has been developed by the Ghana Library Authority. And in the meantime, the authority is trying to make sure that reading becomes a part and parcel of every school child in our country. And we'll have some conversation with authorities at the Ghana Library outfit, and then we'll get to know what the ins and outs are with that new app, how you can navigate it in the first place. But Kojo Yankson has been on the beat since Saturday, bringing to us comprehensive coverage following the official announcement by the police that they had found some remains just close to the residence of the chief suspect or the main protagonist in all this drama, Samuel Udotuk Wales. And Kojo Yankson had also been letting us in on all the conversations regarding what the residents were saying or are saying, and also what the families are. We have to go to Kojo Yankson, and he's ready with the latest. Hello, Kojo.
Hello, Roland.
Yeah, and I can see that you have a great support there in Inner.
Although I've got to say we're perhaps absolutely, yes. Ina and I are ready for you, and we've been going through all the details of what's been happening here, and in fact, it's not been an ordinary story, as you're aware from Saturday when we got here and started to pick up the details of what had happened the night before in the home or the last known address of Samuel Udotuk Wales. The police on Saturday went round to the families and informed them that they had discovered some remains and that DNA tests were needed to identify them. They would require the cooperation of the family in order to conduct the tests and compare the samples to find out whether indeed these remains belong to the missing girls. Now, we started to gauge the mood of the people in the community, and particularly in the community of Kansarodo. People had become very cautious, hadn't they? And had started to pay a bit more attention to everything happening around them.
Yeah, people were just surprised that they could have such a person living there, because they have talked about the fact that Udotuk usually was carrying Bible and he looked more of a religious person. That was a shock to us. And you know, Kojo, the school just opposite, they were lucky because these were young girls who live in a hostel there. So for the administrator there who you spoke to, Auntie Salah, she was so shocked that they could have such a person living in there.
And one of the things that they told us when we engaged them was that those days of ignoring what's happening in your neighbor's house are over, and that from now on they will always keep an eye out and pay attention to strangers. Now, of course, this means that foreigners are probably going to be having a harder time in our country. The Nigerian community obviously are reacting to this. Yesterday, we spoke to one of them. But generally, since this kidnap story broke, how have the Nigerian community in this city fared?
Yes, they feel a bit scared to live around, especially when they have been attacked earlier on about 2 months ago by some people believed to be gangs in the metropolis who think that if Nigerians are in the region and they are doing this to Ghanaians, then they should retaliate. Basically, some shops belonging to Nigerians have to be closed down for weeks until security came out to say that they could still go about doing their work. But we have been speaking to someone, just like you said, so let's take a listen to what he told us.
Is Market Circle. It is the epicenter of trade here in Takoradi. And of course, the secondary Takoradi twin city is still reeling from the discoveries in the backyard of Samuel Udoteg Wills, the prime suspect in the Takoradi kidnapping case. So we've been wondering, how have the Nigerian community been reacting to this recent discovery? Of course, there has been quite a bit of attention and scrutiny on them since the prime suspect in the case was identified as a Nigerian. But of course, not all Nigerians in this country are associated with the wrong thing. For example, here is a Nigerian trader. He works here in Market Circle. On a Sunday, he's out here selling his wares. But of course, the recent news has some impact on him. Let's find out what that impact is. Hello, my brother. What's your name?
My name is Gideon.
Gideon, tell me, you heard about what they discovered in the home of the suspect. As a member of the Nigerian community, how did you react to that?
Oh, when I heard about the kidnapping issue, I was disturbed because that guy is trying to tarnish our image here. We, the business people, even the very first day that thing happened, some of the Amonfo guys, they were very, very annoyed. They went to the place where my brothers do swapping. They destroy all their phones, the show glass. Even we, it affected us because we are scared of coming here.
Why are you scared of coming here?
Because the anger in them is too much. They may come here and destroy our things. Because me now, that guy who the accused person, I don't know him. I have not even met him anywhere. So I see no reason why the Amonfo guys, I thought the accused person is under the custody of the police. Like me now, I would suggest that as long as the accused person is under your custody, so you should face the law. Whatever the law said, you should, whatever the charges that the government will give him, let him face the law. So
don't you feel any sympathy for your compatriot, your fellow Nigerian?
So I feel sympathy for them because he's destroying our image.
I mean, the particular suspect, Samuel Wills, don't you feel any sympathy for him since he's a fellow Nigerian?
I don't feel any sympathy for him at all because he's not a human being. Because no human being with that kind of a heart that he has to kidnap his fellow human beings. For what reason? I don't have any sympathy for him at all.
Now, since that happened, there have been other kidnapping cases in Ghana. And unfortunately, all of the kidnapping cases we're hearing a connection to Nigerians. As a Nigerian yourself, how does that make you feel? It's not only one person who is tarnishing your image, but it appears there are quite a number of people from your country who are coming here and are interested in doing the wrong thing. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I feel very bad. Sometimes I do regret why I even come from that country, Nigeria. Sometimes when people come here to buy my things, if they ask me, because they fancy I can speak small, I don't even tell them that I'm a Nigerian when they ask me. I tell them that I'm a Ghanaian, but I've not been here. So I feel very bad. I feel ashamed of myself. Right?
You feel ashamed to be a Nigerian?
Yes. Because that guy have destroyed our image.
So how do you win your image back? What's the plan? How are you going to redeem your image as Nigerians?
The guy in question, let him face the law. Let him say the truth. That is it.
Now, has it affected business? Do you find that since all of these stories started coming out, your business has suffered?
Yeah, because most people, they are scared of buying from us. They are scared of buying from us.
Now, I'm told that you were once attacked by the people of Takoradi. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I feel very bad.
When did that happen? What happened?
It was 2 months ago. A week the day the kidnapping happened. 2 days later, the ghetto boys attacked us. But they didn't come here. They went to Carlos, where my brothers are doing swapping. And those people that are selling phones, the people that they attacked, but they didn't come to us.
And what do your brothers tell you? What happened? Who attacked them? What was the reason? And were any people hurt?
No, people were not hurt, but they took some of their phones and destroyed their show glass, the table they were using to sell. They are the people who they called us and asked us to pack our things that the ghetto boys are coming here. So when they reached, they didn't find any of us. Although they came here, but they give us information that they are coming. So we move our things.
Now, let me ask you this. The Regional Security Council has issued a statement telling people to remain calm while the police continue their investigations. The fact that the regional administration is telling people to remain calm, does that, as a Nigerian, does that make you worry that perhaps there is an appetite among people to rise up and cause some damage?
Yeah. It gives me the appetite because before then, I wasn't selling. Nobody was selling. We were all in our house because we were scared of what the boys would do to us. Even some of us who has a store, like there's a Nigerian guy there who has a store. But 1 week, he didn't sell because of what happened. But immediately they announced that we should keep calm. We start coming.
So why is it that Nigerians love Ghana so much? What is it that makes you want to be here and want to trade here?
Oh, Ghana is a peaceful country, more than Nigerians. Nigeria is a violent country. They like taking laws into their hands. But here now, they have rules and regulations. That is why we Nigerians we love doing business here.
So now that you've explained why a law-abiding person like you likes to come to Ghana, tell me, why would those who do not abide by the law from Nigeria, why are they also attracted to Ghana? These kidnappers, for example, what is attracting them to Ghana?
In Nigeria, if you are caught, if you're a kidnapper and you are caught, it's either those people who caught you will take the law into their hands and burn you to ashes. But here, they know that when they are caught, maybe they will send them to jail. They will not kill them instantly. That is why they came here to do it. In Nigeria, when you are caught, they will kill you instantly. They will put a tie in your head and pour fuel on you and burn you to death. That is why they are scared of doing that in Nigeria.
That's an interesting perspective. Well, listen, I want to thank you for speaking to me. And, let's stay in touch. Let's see how this matter evolves. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. Clearly, this has far-reaching implications. And in a market like this, where all nationalities are represented, and there is an entire quarter here where the Nigerians are known to ply their trade. Today is Sunday, so it's a lot more quiet than it normally would be, but this place would have been filled with people from Nigeria trading in all kinds of wares. They say currently they do not feel that this is a safe atmosphere for them, and they are concerned that their reputations as Nigerians is being tarnished. Well, let's see how this all evolves. We'll keep an eye on it, as always. Shared with us when we spoke to him yesterday in Market Circle. Yesterday, he wasn't the only one we got the chance to speak to. As we were moving around town, we bumped into Kofi Kinata, who is somebody who cares so much about this particular issue of the missing Takoradi girls. Now, beyond just being a musician, Kofi has also lent his support to other groups that are seeking to do something about these missing girls, hasn't he?
Yes, so there was a demonstration which was slated for the 10th of August, and Kofi Kinata, together with other celebrities, had lend their support for this group, of which we have seen a letter from the police saying they've cancelled due to security reasons. And then on the 17th of August, which would have marked 1 year, exactly 1 year since Priscilla Blessing Bentum was kidnapped, they were going to do another demonstration in Accra. So now we don't know whether they are going to do the demonstration or not. But yesterday, when you spoke to Kojo, when you spoke to Kofi, you saw how he was so passionate about the case, and how he also had this sort of thing that is not really true, that it is the girls, like some media houses have speculated.
Indeed, and in fact, Kofi punched some very big holes in the narrative that we've heard so far from the police. Let's check it out. We know that you've been talking about this, in the past. The kidnapped girls had been a matter of concern for you. So now that the news has come out that 3 bodies or 3 mortal remains of 3 people have been found in the tank at the home of the prime suspect, how does that strike you?
First and foremost, I would say they didn't say 3 bodies. They were like, they found the 3 girls. So if you say 3 bodies, I don't know which is. They said they found the 3 girls, and that's what is baffling me. Like, how can you identify them? I learned they saw skeletons, so how can you identify them? What was the test done? Like, for them to come into conclusion or confirm that they found the 3 girls is some way at Asa, yeah.
Well, to be honest, the police statement did not say they found the girls. They just said they found 3. They found human remains. They didn't say they found the girls. But some media houses.
From what I read online, like social media, it was like they found the Takrady kidnapped girls. Like, they were 3, so how can you see 2 scars, or I don't know what they saw, but I learned it was 2. So how can you see that and just confirm we found the 3 girls? If let's say that was the girls, but they were 2. So how can you say they found them? What about the other one? I see.
So for you, you just don't believe that it's them?
No, so some certain tests are done. They can't confirm those are the girls. Yeah, we were about to make a move. Like, we are planning of a lot of things. Yeah, we were about to make a move when we just heard this. So we thought we found something, and but we went there, and I think I wouldn't say Kokwana's story, but the story is not legit, like legit. Yeah.
So you are still planning to go ahead with whatever you have in mind?
Yeah, we're still planning of whatever we said we were going to do, and they should just watch out for us. Yeah, they can't we have to hear something. They should tell us something. At least some tests and some DNA stuff should go on. Like, we should be convinced that this is those are the girls, or whatever they found out the girls. They just can't say it like that. When in Canada, man, yeah.
Now, for you, I've always been curious, why is this such an important issue for you? Fair enough, you're from Takrady, but you seem very concerned about this. Tell me why.
Yeah, we trying to be citizens and not spectators. And besides, everything concerning Takrady concerns me. And whatever we are doing is to promote this city or this region. So whatever is, like, anything happening in Takrady concerns me, and I have to, me having the numbers and people listen to me a lot, and I have to spearhead everything that is going on. So I'm concerned, and I'm a citizen. I don't want to be a spectator. Yeah.
So what's the plan? I mean, in your position with what you do, I mean, you're a musician. What are the things you can do to help in this effort?
We started 102 online. Are you talking about the girls?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, we started some campaigns online, bring back our girls, and those who were concerned, like, people were listening, people were watching, and we had some 102 information from the police. The police come, Miss Tiwa, she came and said, oh, they've seen the girls, and later he said he was just saying something to console the family, and which was very bad. But
how did you feel about that?
I'm comment why I'm trying to make a case, but it's very slow at us, or it's slow there. No, are you playing with us or what? Yeah, this is very sensitive, and you can't come and say this today and tomorrow come and say that. No, that's not accepted. So now that they are saying they've seen some things and they are going to check out, we are here for the result. We are waiting for whatever will come out, and we will strike from there. We are not leaving any stone unturned.
There are many other renowned musicians from this part of the country, that for all generations, from Ambule to all the others who are from this part of the country. Do you feel that perhaps it's time for all of you to come together and do something in a collaborative effort?
Of course, a lot of things are going on, but a lot of them are, I would say, behind stage. So everybody in his or her own little way is helping. So I'm not alone. Yeah.
There has been some backlash against Nigerians, just generally Nigerians, because the suspects in this case are Nigerians. And of course, there have been other kidnappings in the country connected with Nigerians. How does that strike you?
We would say kidnap, is something new to us. Kidnap is not our style. We don't know about that. But unfortunately, kidnapping is going on. And for what's it say, for a foreigner to be like operating like this in this country, in a foreign land, for somebody to be doing successful kidnapping in a foreign land. Not if you find who be at us, citizens are like conniving with them, and they are planning with Ghanaians. So we have bad Nigerians, we have good Nigerians, just as we have good Ghanaians and bad Ghanaians. Yeah.
So for you, it's not a matter of how people should start seeing Nigerians differently.
No, yeah. For what we know, there are some Ghanaians in Nigeria also misbehaving. So we should just get to the root of this and make sure we treat it. You shouldn't be playing blame games in Nigerians. Yeah, they came through the immigration, so they should do their checks. Yeah.
You are, you love Takoradi. Does this tarnish the image of the Twin City?
Of course. There have been several occasions that I invite people to Takoradi. December you have to come to Takoradi. Takoradi is the best place when it comes to December. Christmas celebrations in Takoradi is the best, and they'll be like, hey, now your town is very scary. They are kidnapping people in there. It's a setback for the region. Yeah.
Do you think something can be done to redeem the image?
Yeah, of course. There's always a way out. So one example would be this case. We just have to get to the bottom of this case and know that blah, 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 blah. Then the citizens will be okay. Yeah.
Well, a message maybe to the families and to your fans who are just as concerned about this as you?
The families, there are condolences to the family, and people should be vigilant. In these days, you can't trust anybody. Even though building moves CB or scare work across say monitor, they will win your trust first, and then they will strike from there. So, intimate trust will be assist at us, especially one of our new sites. I don't know, communities abandoned, estates abandoned will develop. I learned those are the places that these people operate. So, one more than young Kobian home of Manade, and once again, Takoradi. Onye hu dem te dem wala kanu asam do ba rumors pi te maba ntino Takoradi ye hu de obi achi obi mo wa hade be 1 week obi ala nche obi awa enya ye watown ntino asam ku bi na we sa on nche de dem na hade aye ba obi a menenwande obi anya ward atasa. Yeah.
Bring his views with us on the recent happenings, and great guy Kofi, but clearly makes a lot of sense in some of the things he suggests. Now, right after Kofi, we had the chance to speak to the regional minister. Now, he was not here the night the remains were found, was he?
Yeah, he wasn't. He was in Accra, but when he had the issue, he had to come back to Takoradi. But he has also making some revelation. Apparently, there are a lot of fractions to the story. We can't even get what is really correct.
Absolutely.
He had told you that the police, since he's the RESTEC chairperson, they had told him that Udotech had given them a tip off that he had the girls there. That is why. But you have also been speaking to the family on what they told you, right, Kojo?
Absolutely. And the family told us that the police's story is that they were there looking for a SIM card that links Samuel Wills to the crime. And while they were in the house, one of the officers suddenly had a brainwave. Why don't we check this septic tank? Because he was aware of a previous case where somebody had hidden a body in a septic tank. So they noticed one of the tanks had been opened already, so they opened it again and fished around in the water with a bamboo stick and came up with some hair. And that was when they called in Samuel Wills and continued the search. That's what the police told the families. But the regional minister, who, bear in mind, is the chairman of the Regional Security Council, has an entirely different story. Let's hear what he told me when I met with him yesterday afternoon. I wonder how the news hit you as the head of the Regional Security Council when the information came out that this evidence had been uncovered.
We're all shocked because naturally we're all expecting to send the children back to their parents. So we're very shocked. In fact, I was in Accra, but I had to rush back quickly to Takoradi yesterday to get a briefing from my police people and the BNI. And as far as I'm concerned, what they've seen just pass. And therefore, I believe that everybody should be cautious and should calm down so that we await the final investigation. Then we can look at it. In fact, when the president was here just about 2 weeks ago, this issue was one of the major issues that we discussed when he came. In fact, he even made a statement on it when we were in Axim, because that was our first program in the morning. So I believe that is something that government is very concerned about. More so when everybody knows that the Takoradi area for a very long time has been a very peaceful area. Western region holds the natural resources of this country, you know, more than 50% comes from here. So as administrators, we always want to see this place being quiet and safe for everybody. And therefore, we want to make sure that we come to a proper conclusion so that everybody will be happy about what the investigation has gone so far.
Now, the statement that came out last night from RegSec was focusing particularly on calling for calm in the community. Tell me why the Security Coordinating Council felt the need for such a statement.
Basically, you know, this is a very sensitive issue, not only for Takoradi, everywhere in this country. After this issue, we've had the Kumasi one, we've had even one in the market circle that the police had been able to uncover and recover those for their appearance. And therefore, this particular one, which actually started the national, more like a campaign, is something that's very sensitive, and we want to make sure that there's calm before and after, because whoever perpetrated it differently would have to be dealt with the full rigors of the law. And you know that so far the police have been able to arrest 3 people. And for me, I believe that that's the mandate we're giving them to do. But since it's not a finality to the whole issue, we need to be circumspect in everything that we do concerning this issue. Because I believe that there will be no purpose if we've not concluded it and there are reprisal attacks for even more people to die than what would we have achieved as a human race. Okay, so I believe that we need to be careful. Because if you even look at some of the people who have been arrested, it's not only Ghanaians that have been arrested. If you are not careful and we take the law into our own hands, you might also end up also being charged again for taking the law into your own hands. And therefore, I strongly believe that we want this place to be safe for investment, safe for learning, safe for playing. And therefore, we should allow the law to take its own course. Whoever perpetrated, naturally, the law is there to deal with that person. And therefore, there's no point for us to take the law to our own hands. And we have to give that experience in this region as a safe region. And therefore, there was a need to put in that. And also to calm the parents, to let the parents know that we are with them. We've been with them from the beginning of the problem till now. And we are prepared to go the long haul with them. And we want them to have patience with government and then by extension to the police to make sure that they do their work and do it fully for the good people of this country.
Is this, you mentioned one of the reasons for the statement is to make sure that there are no reprisal attacks. Is that a real concern of the RegSec? Do you have some intelligence to suggest that that is a threat that is imminent?
Oh, I mean, if you go to the internet, you see how people do. If you listen to people on radio, how they respond to this particular issue. Naturally, we are also human beings, and therefore, the RegSec and the administration always see this sensitivity, and it's very important that we calm them and give them that confidence that we are there for them for the long haul.
Now, you talked about how you want to reassure the families that you are there for them. When we spoke to the family members, some of them, especially the Quaysons, much as they welcomed the briefing from the police, they were also not very happy with the performance of the police throughout this period. I don't know what is RegSec's view of how this investigation has panned out from all the way back in August last year till now.
I believe that right from the beginning, looking at the date that these issues were reported and the family's own input, they've consistently said that the police didn't act quickly on the issues. And therefore, naturally, they have a reason to doubt maybe the police procedures. But state institutions and the law grind slowly. So sometimes if you've not been dealing with it for a very long time as a normal Ghanaian. I mean, a lot of Ghanaians don't even go to the court and go to police station. So when these things happen, they always hold them in high esteem. So they have an encounter with them, and then sometimes they feel that the process is slow. And I'll give you one typical example. Somebody stole government land, and the matter was sent to court. As I speak to you, we've not gone to court to start the real case. We are still talking about technicalities, more than 3 years or 4 years. So naturally, that happened to me as an MP, a public official. It's taking me 4 years. This is how sometimes the system runs like. So all that I can ask of them is patience, so that the process can come to a certain conclusion. Then we can all be satisfied that this is what has happened, this is the answer, and then we'll look for a way out going forward. So I believe that the only request is that they should be patient for the police to do their work, because this is something that has caught the attention of national institutions. I mean, from Takrady all the way to Accra, even international, Interpol and all that. So I believe that that alone should assure them that government is keenly following the matter and will make sure the right things are done.
I mean, you gave an interesting example of your own, struggles with the system. Is that not rather more of a supporting statement that the system is broken?
No, not at all. What we are saying that the law grinds slowly. It happens. It happens.
In some cases, though, it's pretty fast. For example, when they were looking for the kidnapped Canadians, the law moved fast.
But before the kidnapped Canadians, there was also kidnapping in my constituency, Takrady constituency. Within 2 days, they had arrested the person. Yeah, so it depends on how quick the information got to the police and then how they responded. That's why I'm saying that if you have not dealt with a state institution before, sometimes you have this problem. Now, I gave a typical example of mine to show what it is. Okay, so these are the issues that we need to appreciate. But for this one, everybody in Ghana now knows that this has caught the attention of the president himself, attention of the national security minister, and everybody. And therefore, this is not something that, and it's something that has even got into cabinet. So this is not an issue that nobody's following. Just that when it's an investigation, sometimes it takes time. I mean, typical investigations sometimes takes time, especially when the crime had been committed for some time before the police got into it. So I believe that is the way we should be looking at.
So how has the police explained this to RegSec? What has caused this investigation to take time?
When I start answering the questions like this, then we'll be bringing back all the problems we've had with this particular issue. So I'll be happy not to go there.
That is fine. Let me ask you about this. This is since the arrest of the suspect. This is the first time that the police has done this sort of search at his premises. What is it that what the police have told RegSec? What is it that brought about the need for a search on this occasion in his home?
I strongly believe that the police did some work before the gentleman himself was arrested. The police did some work before the guy actually pointed out to the second accused person. The police did some work before this third guy was arrested around Togo or something. So naturally, some work has gone in. And therefore, it's out of this same work that they have to go to these premises and search the way they came to search. Because the first time, they were actually looking for live people. The search naturally will be different. If you are looking for a live person, you'll not be going into. But now, they've searched, put a lot of pressure on the guy to tell them a lot of things, for them to get at least 3 people who are supposed to be the main kingpins of the whole game. So naturally, new information has to be deduced. You cannot be giving the police old stories that you have given to them, that even they have even communicated system that has created problems for the communication wing of the police itself. So naturally, I believe that is part of the work they are doing. I believe that now that they've come to do this search and found some body part, let's give the police space to do the DNA and tell us whether it is what it is or it is not. Then we can move on. Because what I'm thinking in my head is that, so if it's not the children, it means that they've killed more people than we are taught. And that's very, very, very dangerous. So I strongly do believe that police is a professional institution. It's Ghanaian made. We should be able to allow them to succeed. And that is why I'm not going on that tangent of just blaming them Yes, we might have our own difficulties with the police, but I believe that the best will definitely come out of them after this investigation.
Are you suggesting that the police are no longer looking for live people at this point?
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that all the time, when we started this whole thing, we said that they were here, they were there, they were in Kaswa, they were in Koforidua. You know all these stories. So let's wait for the police to finish their investigation, because I do believe that they are alive. As I sit here, I still do believe that they are alive, and I want them to do their DNA before I'm clear, before they tell me that they've come to the finality of the matter. Then I can take another decision.
So this came from information they got from the suspect?
Yes, that's what the police said. That's why they even said that they took the guy there to go and show them exactly what we're doing. So naturally it might be coming from them.
Okay. So what he said was, there are bodies in my house, or that the girls are in my house?
Basically, I think that's what they said.
The girls are in my house?
Yes, I think that's what they said.
So at this point, I mean, is it not unusual for it to take this long for the police to go and search the home of the suspect? Should it not have been done at the very beginning when he was arrested?
You know, the guy to start with is a liar. He kept telling lies from one stage to the another. I believe that if he had not been put under so much pressure, you wouldn't have even seen the other accomplice. And therefore, I believe that as far as the police can extract from him all these other criminals to come to one center for them to get this information, I believe that the police are doing a yeoman's job. It shows that the police can definitely get to the bottom of this matter for us.
At this point, the investigation turns into a forensic one, now that they have this evidence in hand. Are we equipped? Is the regional police equipped to do this?
I think there's a DNA, not regional, it's gone national, it's gone to Accra. DNA laboratory, we have a DNA laboratory in Accra, the police have that one. So they should be able to do it. And you know that somebody like former regional commander, Kofi, forgotten the name, is now in Accra now, Commissioner of Police, Kofi Bwache. He's a forensic expert, he's a biochemist like myself, before he did a law. Yeah, so I know they have a lab like that. I think he told me those days. Yeah.
So from your last briefing, obviously you would have had an emergency briefing when this happened. What sort of timelines are we looking at for the way forward?
They didn't give me any timeline because the thing was going to happen in Accra. My regional commander is also followed up in Accra, and I believe that this coming week you'll be briefing me on what is happening, and I will communicate whatever comes out of the investigation.
Is there a plan to engage with the families?
Oh, definitely. We've been engaging them. Even yesterday, the police were there. So we'll be engaging them. Yes, we'll be engaging them seriously.
How about you personally?
Oh, yes, I'll be engaging them. Yes, I'll be engaging them. This week I'll be engaging them. Again, after the police one. Yeah.
Well, that was what the regional minister said. And Ina, you notice how his version of what the police reported to RegSec is very different from what the police told the families. But this is just one of many contradictions that led to the big bombshell from yesterday, when Mr. Crunchy came to us and said that they had decided to no longer cooperate with the police. But of course, he didn't come to this decision on his own, did he?
Sure. No, he didn't come on the decision on his own. Apparently, he said the three families, that the Ruthlove Quaison's family, his own, and then that of the Bentum, have sat down and said that this, they don't really believe in what the police is saying. And if the police want them to do this DNA test, then it should be done outside. But if it's going to be in Ghana, they don't believe them. They've sort of lost trust in the police. They feel that this is just a cover-up. If they, there was a statement he made. He said if they feel they are tired of the investigation, they should just tell them, and not to find a nice way of making it look like their daughters are dead, even though they have not said. But looking at how the events and the number of stories coming in, they don't actually believe the police for now.
Right. Now, let's hear Mr. Crunchy, but I mean, I want you to pay attention to what he says, because when he finishes, we're going to do some analysis of what has led him and the other families to this conclusion and this decision to no longer cooperate with the police. But here is Mr. Crunchy himself, a man holding on to his emotions by a hair thread. This is what he said to us yesterday.
Why that has changed is that after pondering over the whole issue, I've come to realize that I don't believe in whatever has happened, that my daughter is dead, and that the skeleton bones found in that manhole or a cesspit can be that of my daughter. One, the reason being, no less a person than the Interior Minister, the Gender Minister, Mr. Brian Achampong. I don't know his status.
Minister of State in charge of security, national security.
Yes. And then Madam Tiwa, they all have confirmed to us that the girls are alive and they are in safe hands, that they are doing all that they could to go and retrieve them. So for them to turn around just some few moments to come and tell us that they have found some coughs, some bones in a certain manhole, we don't believe it. When the girls die, did the suspect kill them before he was captured and sent to jail? And if it happened before he was arrested, how come they were able to tell the nation that the girls are alive? So I don't believe whatever is going on. So I cannot avail myself to that DNA test they are going to do. This is my decision.
So from what you're saying, Samuel Wills was arrested on the 22nd of December. Your daughter disappeared the day before, the 21st. So you're saying that you don't believe he had enough time to kill your daughter before he was arrested?
Yes, I don't believe, because even 31st, when he broke jail, he managed to call me and told me that they don't kill kidnap victims. All that they need is money. So he confirmed to, not I alone, about 3 of us, that including my two young boys, that the girl is alive, and that for security reasons he cannot allow us to talk to her that time. You see, and from that time onwards, we've been hearing that the girls are alive, the girls are alive. So all this while, were they deceiving us? And if they were deceiving us, how true is this test going to be? You see, I don't have confidence in that test. That is why I say I won't avail myself, because from onset, the police and the BNI or security agencies, including ministers, they have been deceiving us. So if even this test is conducted, I don't believe they will tell us the truth.
But we all know that Samuel Wills has lied to the police on several occasions and sent them in different directions where they found nothing. In spite of that, you seem to believe what he told you on the phone when he broke jail. How come?
I cannot believe him, neither can I believe the police. Because the police, they say the girls are alive. You see, emphatically, that they are alive and that they are safe. So if even the suspect is trying to deceive us to believe that the girls are alive and that he has not killed them, what of the security agencies and the ministers? Should I not believe them also? So if they are now telling me that they have found some bones somewhere. Does it mean the boy told them that now he has told them that he killed the girls before he was captured? You see, they didn't tell us that the boy told them he killed the girls, and that is why they followed him to the police. They said during the investigation, it occurred to them that they should come to the house to do a search there. And it was during the search, it occurred to them to open the manhole and find and look inside. All this while, they haven't told us that the boy told them he killed the girls before he was arrested. It is from their own, they said that they came there, you see. So the whole thing, I just don't believe what is happening. And I don't want to bother myself. Let sleeping dog lies. You see, I've had enough. I've had enough. So if they will go on looking for the girls, fine, they should go on. But if they want to put a stop to it, they should find a proper means to tell us that they have done a lot and they cannot locate them, so they are putting a stop to it. Nobody is forcing them to bring the girls at all costs. But they shouldn't do something as if something has happened, so that based on that they will tell us that yes, we found the bones and that the girls have been killed, so nothing should go on again.
Well, the police, in their recent statement, did not state that these remains belong to the missing girls. The only way, according to them, this can be determined is through a DNA test.
I'm not stopping them from doing the DNA test.
But they will need your sample.
No. They can do it without my sample. If they cannot do it without my sample, then I would suggest it should be done independently. Even outside the country, if that will be possible. But within the police circles, I'm afraid.
So your trust for the police is completely non-existent now?
As far as looking for my daughter is concerned, they did not treat us well from the onset. They did not treat us well. All that they've been doing they've been telling people that we didn't report the case early. My daughter got missing. I had the distress call about 3 p.m. I was at the police at Kodukrum about 4 p.m. Let's say about 4 p.m. From there, within 30 minutes, I was at Anaji. Saturday, I went to the regional commander's office. I sent my boy there. He dispatched him to meet the district commander Kwesimintim branch at Anaje and take the matter up. Monday, I went to BNI. From there, I went to the regional commander's office. All what we could do to help the police to get my daughter, we did. And now they are saying we didn't report early. It means they are doing everything to cover the whole thing up. This guy was in jail. They themselves testify that no one has ever broken that cell. About 60 years ago, it was built. No one has ever broken it. And that they even believe that it was an accomplice who helped him to get out from the cells. All this while, they have not managed to get the accomplice. So I'm afraid.
To you, does this mean you are going to resign yourself to the fact that Priscilla will never come home?
Priscilla can come home if he's alive, by the help of God.
Do you still believe Priscilla is alive?
I can't say he's died. He's dead. If I look for her for 20 years, it doesn't come. 10 years, it doesn't come. he is not the one the only person who is missing from the country. But as far as I've not seen her body, I can't pronounce her dead.
What is your personal theory? Where do you think she might be by now?
For me, I don't think my daughter is. If she's alive, I don't think she can be. The kidnappers will keep her in their custody and feed her until now. I suspect they have sold my daughter somewhere for a huge sum of money. Yes.
So what's the next step now that you've made this decision? I know you're not the only one. We've heard from the other family members. They seem to share your opinion about not cooperating with the police on the DNA test. Now that you've made this decision, what next for you and your family?
We urge the police to go on looking for the missing girls. We urge them to go on. If they have any means to test those bones, we don't stop them from doing that. If they have any means without our samplings, if they have any means to do it, but still if they need our service, that one, we've decided that it should be done independently.
That's what Mr. Kranche had to say when we spoke to him yesterday. A complete about turn, a change of mind by the entire family. So, bearing this in mind, this clearly means that the police are going to have their work cut out for them in doing this DNA test.
Yes, it's going to be very difficult. You know, Mr. Kranche has making some analysis mentioning that of the CID boss, the fact that she had given an assurance on the 2nd of April that they know where the girls are, they are alive. The family should keep on keeping on. They will reunite them very soon. So for him, he feels that if such an authority has made such a statement, why then would they even go ahead with the DNA test? Because the police know where they are. And the gender minister as well, when she was on AM show, that is on the 28th of January this year, she also had said she had seen a tablet of the suspect, now an accused, some older tech wheels, where the girls were alive and they were good.
She said this on the PM Express to Evans Mensah, but you are absolutely right. And you see, let's walk our audience through the reasoning that the families have gone through to arrive at this decision. So you see, what the families are saying is that they don't believe that whatever remains have been found belong to their loved ones. Now, the first reason why they don't believe it is because they've lost faith in the police. They feel that the police are not beyond capable of finding some fake remains, claiming them to be those of the 3 missing girls, taking DNA from the families, pretending to do a test and then coming to tell them that we found the girls. End of story. They think the police could do this because the pressure on them is too much and they can't find the girls. But with that premise in mind, they then walk through a logical process to arrive at the conclusion that those girls cannot be theirs. Their logical process is this. Samuel Wills was arrested on the 22nd of December. But the last victim, Priscilla Kranche, was, went missing on the 21st. That is just the day before. So what they are saying is that even if there was time for Mr. Wills to kill all 3 of them and dump them in the septic tank before he was arrested the following morning, how come the gender minister, like you said, said she had watched a video on the tablet of the girls and they were fine? How come Brian Achampong, Minister of State in charge of national security, claimed that they knew where the girls are and they are in Port Harcourt? How come The Daily Guide ran a story that the girls have been rescued and brought to a hospital in Accra and were being tended to by BNI officials. And how come Madam Tiwa Adodankwa announced to the world, we know where the girls are? So let's just have a quick reminder of what Madam Adodankwa had to say about this.
Together with the BNI, we've worked very well, and currently we know where the girls are. I am unable to give the details because we don't want to compromise their safety. We are working hard together with other stakeholders so that these girls are brought back home safely. The assurance to the family is that they should keep on keeping on. The ladies, we know where they are and they are safe. So very soon, they will be brought back home and they will go back to their family.
Adodankwa had to say. Of course, famously, she then came back a few weeks afterwards to say that she only said that to give the families hope. But I mean, for me, the one that is of interest is the gender minister, because she said she saw video of the girls alive and well. So if she is to be believed, then there is no way those bones can belong to those girls, right?
Sure, Kojo, if what she said, we should take it as concrete, then there is no way. So that means whatever the family have decided to do, it's well. I mean, because they have said they've listened to authorities saying this. These are not just ordinary Ghanaians or ordinary Takoradi members on the street who have told them this. These are people in power. They know what they are doing. So for me, I think whatever they are saying, it's good they have any cause to say what they are saying. But though the police have not come out, they should also know that the police have not come out to say these are the bones of the girls. You heard the regional minister saying that if it turned out not to be the girls, then that means there are other girls involved. Yeah.
That's true. So, of course, these DNA results, a lot hinges upon them. But now that the family has decided not to cooperate with the police in doing that DNA test, we are yet to see how the police intends to proceed from this point onwards. Well, that's the latest from Takoradi, and I guess it's over to you, Roland and Mamavi.
Well, good work there that Kojo Yankson and Ina Talia Kwanta are doing in Takoradi, and the story just keeps changing. And when you critically look at how the sound bites have played, especially in this package that Kojo Yankson put together, you get to find that they just don't add up in the first place.
Well, we're still waiting. They said they're doing the forensics. Now we've heard about DNA testing. So we'll see. We're just waiting to hear confirmation. As we know, ours is not like what happens in other jurisdictions where people associated, interested persons would, give you all the updates. So by now, they're speaking with one voice. Police would tell you their angle. So police CID will tell you. The municipal assembly will also tell you from their angle, all that, everything coming together. But it's not like that for us. This is where we are with it. So we'll see how that goes.